Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. The Season 3 Reloaded update coming up here in early May is going to include a handful of very highly requested updates. Plunder is going to be one of them, and we've talked about that a bit here recently. The other one, the one that personally I am very much so excited for, ridiculously excited for, honestly, is Warzone Ranked. This is an update that really, ever since Warzone 1 launched back in 2020, has been one of the most requested things in the community, something that I've wanted to see, and something that I would say maybe has taken a bit too long to finally come to fruition. But regardless, this season it is finally happening. Warzone is actually getting a full-on competitive ranked mode, and while we don't have a ton of details on what to expect with ranked here, we do have a few things to go off of so far, and I want to sort of break down why this update is going to be so important here with the details that we do know. So initially here, as far as the actual release date goes, all they've said so far is that Warzone Ranked is going to be an in-season update. It's coming later in the season. More than likely, that means it's going to be happening with Season 2 Reloaded. That's currently set for, I believe May 10th is the leaked date according to Tom Henderson and Insider Gaming there. So May 10th is the potential drop date for Warzone 2 Ranked. That said, with Plunder and Warzone 2 Ranked both being, in-season updates, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they dropped just one of them with Season 3 Reloaded and released one maybe a week before or a week after, just to, not have things too overwhelming for the player base and not to split up the player base too much right on update day. But for that, obviously, we are going to have to wait and see. For what it's worth, Call of Duty has also actually confirmed that there is going to be a full-on ranked announcement, so we should expect some kind of blog post with all the official details in the coming days and weeks. Once that happens, of course, I'm gonna be sure to keep you guys updated with that stuff, so stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed with those noties turned on so you can always guarantee you're on top of the latest news and updates and everything else going on in COD. Also, while we're at it, if you guys are excited for ranked play, let me know by dropping a like on the video as well. But yeah, we're only a couple weeks out from this dropping, and you guys know prior to Season 3, I was actually included in a developer call going over some of the updates that we should expect within the season and sort of the details on that stuff. And while ranked wasn't really like a huge topic, we really didn't get too much about it. What we did get is very, very important, to say the least. So initially here, even outside of the dev call, before we get into the details there, Ted Timmons, who is the senior creative director at Raven, Ted personally, quick side note here, fantastic guy from what I've gotten to know of him. He's really, really good at what he does when it comes to listening to the community, actively engaging with feedback. He's always looking to improve the game for the player at the end of the day. And Ted, like I said, he just does a really good job. Ted's awesome. We love him. But he ended up tweeting around the time that Season 3 was actually getting revealed that a new dawn for Warzone is coming. And he says ranked is going to change everything. So there's already some high hopes and some high expectations from the dev side of things for ranked. I feel like that is a positive sign for what's to come, considering the fact that all throughout the 2.5 years or whatever that we had Warzone 1, ranked was one of the top requested things, and now so far in Warzone 2, it's been one of the top requested things. They've had a lot of time to sort of perfect this, especially considering we're going to see a lot of mirrored, I guess, elements from multiplayer ranked as well. We'll get into that here, but within the dev call, like I said, we didn't see a ton of details talked about with ranked, but what they did say is that there is a blueprint for ranked. Back in Warzone 1, when we had things like titanium trials and iron trials, those were ultimately tests for a quote-unquote ranked mode. Now, it's not going to be one for one, and they did specifically say, Raven was talking in this call, they said, just because we were testing for ranked within iron trials and titanium trials, that does not mean that it's going to be exactly like those modes. You might recall that back in Warzone 1, with those modes, we had increased health. It was a way longer TTK. There was slowed down regen. Loadout drops were more expensive, so you had to rely more on ground loot. It was a very different experience from standard battle royale and very different from standard resurgence, right? Personally, I really enjoyed iron trials and titanium trials because it really comes down to user skill. A lot of aiming is involved, a lot of gun skill is involved, rotations matter, maneuvering matters. I personally really liked the added skill gaps there. So the blueprints could follow like that. We might see, again, Keep in mind, emphasis on the might. They did not confirm. They actually specifically said in this call, I think Charlie Intel and Modern Warzone were talking about this in their Twitter spaces. They said just because it was in Iron Trials or Titanium Trials doesn't mean it's going to happen, but that was a blueprint, that was a testing period. So we could see an increased TTK for ranked. We could see gameplay adjustments to how health works, to how armor works, to how the loadout drops work, circle closing, even stuff like that. Fewer vehicles, different kill streaks. There's a lot of different variables in play for how that could potentially end up actually happening. Again, once we get the blog, we'll have more clear details there. But personally, I feel like they know that Iron Trials and Titanium Trials and that increased health mode with those alternative gameplay mechanics would work well for that specific ranked mode. Now, we also obviously already have Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer ranked, where we have the skill division system, where we have the SR system, and I would expect ranked in Warzone 2 to mirror that a lot. It's clearly a system that works well, and quite frankly, Treyarch has done a really good job with how that all plays out. So we'd have those different divisions. Winning a couple of matches in a row is obviously going to boost up that SR rating, so you can continue to climb throughout the divisions. We'll probably have like that sort of seasonal reset. That said, if this mode is dropping with Season 3 Reloaded, I would not expect a full-on reset, just a couple weeks later for Season 4, so maybe that is a bit pushed back off the start, but you'd continuously have that as seasons come and go in the future further on down the road. And then we'd also obviously have similar rewards to Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer ranked, where you get to a certain division, you get this operator skin, or you get this blueprint. Obviously, within ranked, it's not just about kills either. It's a lot about placements. You could finish top 5, you get a bonus to your SR rating. You finish in the bottom 20 or so, let's say, you lose SR rating. It'll be really curious to see what the positives are and how to gain a decent amount of SR are versus how you lose SR a lot in Warzone 2 ranked. Again, we'll get more details on that once the official blog is out in the coming days and weeks. And we also know with the announcement of the World Series of Warzone that there is going to be a huge specific rule set available just for Warzone 2 ranked. Obviously, that'll include the different gameplay elements and mechanics there with the health, healing, whatever the case may be. There's also, though, potentially going to be different restrictions. Maybe you can't use certain equipment or certain guns or certain weapons together, perks. There could be all sorts of, bans alive in-game and available in-game for ranked specifically. Now, here's the thing. One, we absolutely are going to see a huge cheating problem with Warzone 2 ranked. Ricochet is going to have to step it up once this update is out. As much as ranked could be a serious game changer for Warzone 2, it could also seriously flop if it is just plagued with cheaters, because obviously it's free to play, it's easy to access, nothing is really stopping cheaters from creating new accounts over and over and over again and just ruining that ranked experience. So we have to see upgrades there, but ultimately this is so important for Warzone 2's future. Like I said at the start, it's basically been 3 years now we've been wanting to see this update take place, because it's going to separate Warzone casual games from a serious competitive version of Warzone 2. Sure, you have all these kill races, sure, you have these custom lobbies, but when there's an actual ranked mode, there are tangible things you can go through and grind. There's a reason to continue to try and improve the game other than just boasting high kills or being on top of a leaderboard, right? Going for those actual skill divisions, trying to make it to the top 250 or whatever the case may be, really adds in a grind incentive. And quite frankly, it could also end up cleaning up the public matches a little bit. Obviously, a lot of those super competitive players are going to be diving into ranked, and that might actually make it seem like some public match lobbies are now going to be a bit easier, because you don't have that high-end portion of the lobby that's nothing but really, really good players anymore. They're in a completely different mode. So skill-based matchmaking in core in public matches might not feel as rough after this update is out too. Hopefully it is going to be a game changer. Hopefully the mode and update lives up to the expectations and to the hype that it has so far. As we gain any new details here soon, you guys know I'll have you covered with that stuff, so feel free to hit the subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. That way you can stay up to date with that and everything else going on in COD. And if you guys enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it as well. Would be seriously appreciated. But that is effectively going to wrap things up for this one. That's what we know of ranked so far. Really looking forward to getting some more official info, some actual specific details here soon. But that is going to do it for this one. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.